Welcome to the Weekends with Bernie podcast. I'm Tom Everett Scott, taking you on a father and son journey through a season of fantasy football. Bernie Gallagher is a retired sports reporter and bartender, teaming up with his son, Jason, a composer in Los Angeles. They will attempt to conquer the league I created. They will have to overcome injuries, trash talk, heartbreaking loss, and that's just between the two of them. Join us as we talk fathers and football on Weekends with Bernie.
Welcome back. Here we are. That's how I'm getting in. That's how I'm getting in this time.
You have this advantage.
Why?
As the editor of the show.
I know what I'm cutting. Yeah.
You know how you're cutting it. So
Yeah.
you know where the music's going to drop in
I
and
know.
fade out.
I know what's going on.
Not
like
that it's a
joke.
competition. It's not a competition.
How about that cold open in the last episode? If you missed it, go back and check that out.
Seemed a little forced to me.
It was a little written.
It wasn't organic enough.
It was a little written.
Hi, Bernie.
Good morning.
How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Whatever.
We don't care.
What's new, Bern?
Hey, not much.
What'd you do yesterday?
What's new, pussycat?
I did a little golf yesterday.
How'd it go?
Terrible.
What was the best part of your game? Walking off?
Yeah. Being able to walk off.
Sounds about right.
Without any help. Yeah.
He told me he got put with a group with, he said the best part about the group I play with was that they were worse than me.
Yeah, that's always the Schadenfreude.
Yeah. Well, except the one guy who claimed he had hurt himself. He fractured his shoulder, so he's going
During
to
the game?
play from the yellow. Not during the game.
Oh, okay.
Before he's going to play from the yellows, and he ended up out driving everybody.
Well, he was closer to the green than all of you.
Yeah, but
He's halfway there.
he wasn't. Anymore.
You won't do that.
No,
Where do you play from?
I'm from the white shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what that means.
There's
From
blue,
the middle. He's in the middle.
blue, white, yellow. You know, mostly
Blue, white,
yellows
yellow.
for really bad players, and well, it's the female one, but that's not
He used to
saying
be.
that.
He used to be there.
What do they call it when you play it the furthest away? When you play
The blacks. The tips.
The tips. Blame from the tips.
Yeah, you think you're good.
You think you're good.
Okay,
that's right.
well, I know I'm not, and
You know what else is not good? The Weekends with Bernie team suffered its first loss this week. We're 2-1.
Crushed.
We're 2-1.
no Saquon.
We got crushed.
We lost Saquon. We lost. I mean, it's obvious. It's
Right.
logical.
I don't think we would have won with Saquon.
Oh,
You
here
played
we-
against somebody with one of the Dolphins on their team. I mean, the Dolphins went crazy.
We
70
played
points.
against a juggernaut, as Ned called it. A juggernaut.
Is Ned the team you lost to?
No, we lost to Tim and Mike Kelly, the guests of the first episode of Weekends with Bernie.
So I guess they
Beat
won't
us.
be back on the podcast. Is
We're
that
not
what you're saying?
inviting them back.
No,
They,
that was so
they
rude.
gleaned too much from our witty banter.
Dang it.
Yeah, sons of bees.
All right, well,
We're trying to pivot. We're trying to make some moves. We're going to bring you a victory this week. Don't worry. Keep following along. In the meantime, special guest, maybe one of the best. No slight to all the other guests, but geez Louise, did we land the big fish?
we did because I think the most appropriate guest we will ever have on this show.
I'm gonna say that's it. That's the way to introduce him. The most appropriate guest on Weekends with Bernie.
Actor Jonathan Silverman
From
Weekend at Bernie's.
Woo!
I mean,
Can
it's
you
just
believe
like, how did we name the show so that we could get him on? Also, his sister was my kid's doctor, unrelated, and he and I did this play here in LA. Well, we'll cover it all.
Yeah, let's play the music and get him in here.
Let's do it.
Okay, go.
Hi, John.
Hi, Tom
Hi.
Everett Scott.
It's been too long.
Oh, man, let's do a play together.
just
What was
start
it,
with that.
20, 25 years?
20.
20?
Yeah,
something
20.
years?
I mean, 2003.
You guys worked together in a play. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
What
well,
was it
let's.
called?
Have we started?
Should
Is
we
this-
do a? We
I
can,
think this is it. No,
Yeah, you're the boss.
let's just keep going.
Jason's the boss. Okay, Jonathan Silverman.
Hi, guys.
probably the most appropriate. Probably the most appropriate guest we could have ever had. And maybe we named this podcast what we named it
To get him
in
Yeah.
hopes that we would land
Yeah.
Jonathan Silverman as our
here he
guest.
is.
It's a very catchy title. It reminds me of something. I just can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, well,
Right.
Something.
So
But
hopefully
it's
by
an
the end
honor
of
to be
the
here,
segment,
and,
you will have remembered.
Yeah. I'll let you talk. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. So we did meet because of that play.
We met because we did a play together. Roger Cumble play, the two of us and Mr. David Schwimmer. And it was called Turnaround, and you were amazing in it. You especially.
So were you.
Were amazing. I just did my obnoxious shit. And got
okay.
you broke.
I saw that play. It was great. You were
saw
amazing.
the
You were
play?
amazing as well.
Wow.
I saw the play.
Wow.
I did.
He
I
saw the
it.
play. We
Bernie
all
saw it
it.
too.
Okay.
I
was
did. I only fell asleep twice.
Fantastic. It was only like a 20-minute one act. So
I know.
For him, it was. Yeah.
And this was 20 years ago. This was so you were a much younger man then, and
whatever. Yeah, but I remember saying I saw it. I remember I liked it.
In the play, Tom, you huffed about a pound of cocaine or
That's
fake
right.
cocaine.
Bernie, I'm glad you're not the theater critic on the LA Times. I liked it. I thought it was okay.
it was sold out every night.
Sold out every night, probably because of David Schwimmer, but still.
Probably.
Yeah.
There was a rare distinction there of being a sold-out play in L.A. where theater is not really.
Man, I know you've done plays in L.A. I've done plenty, and that was crazy because mostly you're begging your friends and strangers to come see it. And we have to tell people, I'm sorry, it's sold out for the next 6 weeks. There's nothing we can do.
No lie. And super fun to work on that with you. It was about a writer, a producer, and a director, all friends, and they were all trying to make this thing while my character the writer was also just a complete mess. And making the movie meant it could kill him. Right? That was pretty much the whole premise, right?
That was pretty much it. And
we had
lovely young lady involved, Jamie Ray Newman, who recently won an Academy Award. Speaking of awards,
she did win an Academy Award for a short, right?
For a short. And John DiMaggio, who has gone on to huge fame recently with
one of the greatest voice actors of our time. And no lie, he's the voice of Bender from Futurama, and then many, many other things you would know his voice from. He's Jake from Adventure Time. I see him all the time. We just picketed together.
Nice.
We're overdue for a hang.
We are overdue, and Bernie could come too. He's still not. He's still not impressed.
We'll prop him up and walk him around.
If my calendar's free, I'll be sure.
Okay,
I'll try to make
you have to stay awake, though. You have to stay awake.
I would say about
no falling asleep.
I would say about every handful, like 5% of the people that mention the name of that movie, will call it Weekend with Bernie. So there already is a built-in.
Oh, they do. Right.
It's already a search engine problem. This
is it?
So,
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's not. I mean,
No, it's your fault. No, definitely.
It's definitely.
Well, it's a hell of a title and a hell of a show. I caught the episode that you did with Roday, who's one of my dearest friends, and I thought it was so brilliant.
Do you do so? Another connection, Roday, fantasy baseball?
Real baseball. Roday used to be the captain of our softball team.
Oh wow!
Yeah, our Sunday softball team. My God, that was probably 50.
Was he any good?
But he was great. He was. He was our leadoff hitter, center fielder, and he probably got me into fantasy baseball. And this was 20 some odd years ago, and now I play way too much, and divorce is certain. But thankfully, the season just ended, so now's my time to make up.
That's one of your vices.
That's
you would
why
say.
we're in the
Oh my
garage.
God!
I mean,
I don't think I could handle fantasy football. I admire you guys for what you do. Congratulations, but I think that would just be too much. Baseball's my big passion, so I kind of have to do the fantasy. I love football, but I think growing up in LA just made my connection with football a little odd. As a kid, Rams fan.
Right.
They were here. They were in the Coliseum. My dad took me to my first few games ever, and then they moved to Anaheim. Just a quick little connection. I don't think I've ever talked about this anywhere.
Let's hear it.
I hope it doesn't go anywhere. But my dad was a rabbi. You might have remembered that.
I do know that.
He had a lot of interesting congregants. Even Jack Ruby, who might have assassinated the man who might have assassinated our president, was one of his congregants when he lived in Dallas. And when he moved to LA, it was Buddy Hackett and Don Rickles. But Carol Rosenblum was one of his congregants, and Carol owned the Los Angeles Rams football club. And he married a younger woman, and he was an excellent swimmer. They lived out at the beach, I believe, and he swam in the ocean every day. And one day he was swimming in his own swimming pool in the backyard, and he never made it out of his swimming pool. Georgia inherited.
Was it Jack Ruby? Did Jack Ruby get him?
might have done it. I think the whole
or Buddy Hackett.
But Georgia took the team and all of Carroll's money and moved it to St. Louis. I'm not saying
you went from having
anything.
No teams to having 3 teams at one
Correct.
point. I mean,
sorry. 20 minutes ago, I was telling you about my youth as a football fan. So the Rams left me like I was a divorced latchkey kid, and then the Raiders came to town, and on their first year here, they won the Super Bowl. And I became a big Raiders fan, and I would go to the games as a 13, 14, 15-year-old, and I'd see, everyone getting beat up in the stands, and I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to come to the stadium anymore, but I'll be watching on TV. And I loved the Raiders, and then they left. So I basically said, fuck you, football, and I stopped rooting for specific teams. I would just find a favorite player and just hope he did well. And then, Tom, our connection to New Orleans, Jen and I were doing so much work in Louisiana back when they had the film and TV tax breaks, and we got tired of staying in hotels. So we bought this sweet little condo in the French Quarter, which you had lived in for a spell. And
it's one of the greatest things
isn't it sweet?
To come from our friendship is being able to stay at your place. It is great. I took my kids there during their spring break one time.
She wrote one of the sweetest notes in our little guest book with pictures of you guys. It was adorable.
Oh, that's so sweet. We would go out on the balcony. You have this great balcony. I assume you still have the
place. We still have it. Yeah, we still have it. Actually, we don't have the place. We just have the balcony. Got rid of the place.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, the balcony's maybe the best feature.
Yeah.
So we would hang out there, and my kids were young. It wasn't like I could go do the drinking tour of New Orleans.
You didn't take them to Big Daddy's?
Would have been frowned on.
Yeah.
No, but we would watch people stumbling down the street, and my son and I figured out that there was a good chance that most of those people would be named Josh. So we would yell, "Hey, Josh!" and somebody would turn around.
That's genius.
And then we'd hide.
Josh is such a popular New Orleans.
That should be like your future podcast. You should call it "Hey, Josh" and just see what kind
of
Josh beats you.
And just record it from the balcony.
But yes, in our move to New Orleans, which wasn't really a move, but it was just a secondary home. The inhabitants, the locals, the sweet people who call New Orleans home, just embraced us with so much love. And we became friendly with the general manager and coach of the New Orleans Saints. So we became huge, and still are huge Saints fans.
Were you there and part of that during their Super Bowl run?
Yes, but we weren't friendly with them yet. But we were rooting from afar. But since they won the Super Bowl, we've gone to at least 1 or 2 games every season.
Now, are you a Sean Payton fan?
Sean is a very close friend, and we were even at his wedding in Mexico a year.
Wow!
Give him a chance. It's an interesting team he has taken over, and he's going to turn it around. It's only been 3 games. Give him a little bit longer. He's going to be great.
Absolutely.
He did all right in New Orleans.
He did okay.
He got a great track record.
He will always be loved there. Yeah. He will always be loved there.
Yeah.
I love how recently I heard that they're going to simplify things for Russell Wilson. They're going to make him wear the plays on a wristband. And one of the problems is the pep talks in the huddle are just a little too long.
Really?
Yes.
Cut down from Russell?
Yes. Russell's just spending a little too much time in the huddle pep talking everybody.
I mean, how can that be a bad thing? I love it.
Communication is the key to success in most things.
It really
football.
is.
They're like, just read the play. There is a clock.
A lot of 5-yard penalties.
All anyone seems to care about in football right now is Taylor Swift.
It does seem to have taken over football for a second.
That's it.
It's taken over. Yeah, she's taken over everything now. It's football.
God,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
She's everywhere.
How do you feel about that, Jonathan?
I think it's great. I have no feelings, but man, I just wanted to see various highlights of the games this past weekend. I was on a plane and I missed pretty much everything on Sunday. And all I got to see on everything on every device was
That's true.
Go 87.
I know. Even Adam Schefter was. He's like all news. Like I'm trying to find out like some updates for my team, and all I'm getting is Kelsey Swift.
Everybody in our league just to be funny is like looking up song titles.
Yeah, to be funny
to add into the group text.
Perfect. Well, I think it's great for the league and great for all of.
Do Jen and Ella enjoy? Are they Swifties?
Sure they are. Absolutely. Especially our almost 6-year-old. Tomorrow she turns 6, so I got to get used to saying she's 6.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, she enjoys Miss Swift. We all enjoy Miss Swift. We didn't have a chance to see her when she was at SoFi, which is an amazing place to watch anything. But we did see Beyonce a few weeks later. Gee, that was a great show. Wow, that was a great show. But that's you guys have been to SoFi to see football games.
I haven't been yet.
You haven't been.
No. Should we? No, I think we're trying to get there.
Get us in, John.
Guys, it's the finest stadium I've ever been to, and I went for a concert. I can only imagine. I would go watch, a donkey marry a goat just to be in that stadium again. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
They do that there sometimes, so
this is LA.
Get to see the donkey.
I think the Rams are playing the Donkeys.
Good one.
Season. Okay, I was trying to come up with some random.
Very good.
But Dad, we need to. We were waiting for the Giants to come. We're Giants fans.
Let's go Giants.
If the Giants are coming to town, then maybe we'll get over there. But we haven't.
Are they scared? I don't even know.
No, not this season.
I don't believe so.
One of these.
No.
We'll get there.
No.
So you grew up here. You're from LA.
I'm born and raised. Yes.
Okay, so that's exciting. You have a new stadium, but you must be, and you're a baseball fan. So then you're a Dodger fan.
Yes, if we're allowed to talk baseball, yes, I'm a huge Dodger fan. Absolutely.
Sure.
We are totally allowed to talk baseball.
All sports are welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, and is this? I don't want to. Oh, sorry, Bernie. You're about to say something.
No, go ahead. I was just saying I was originally a Dodger fan also.
Yeah,
and the
Brooklyn Dodgers.
You're the real Dodger fan. Yeah. That's great.
Then he got his heart broken. His team left town.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you moved here to LA, so you followed your broken heart all the way here.
True. I've seen a couple games here.
That's true. That's true. We have the pleasure of being, part of the Playtone family, and they have a nice,
I've been to Gary's Suite before. I think right when Tom bought it, and wow, that's a nice place to watch a baseball game.
It's a spoiled place to watch.
Gary is such a lovely host too. It's like, come on in. Do you have the tequila that you like? And please order this. He's such a host.
That's right. We're talking about Gary Getzman, who produced That Thing You Do, and he's a lovely gentleman who, as you know, never lets your feet touch the ground.
Yeah.
He really loves to be the host with
He's
the most.
the greatest. I did the only unsuccessful thing that Playtone has ever touched.
What was it?
It was an unsold pilot for HBO. The late great Harold Ramis directed it.
Oh wow!
I know it was so.
It's already a success, no matter what you say next.
It was supposed to be the male companion to Sex and the City. It was based on a novel called Lloyd, What Happened? And God, I just thought, I'm done. This is great. I'm working for Tom Hanks for the next 10 years. I'm doing an HBO show. I hope I don't have to show my dick, but still, this is going to be so much fun. And the stadium had just been renovated, and Gary and Tom are always having us over. And then, like, a few months go by, and HBO said, "Yeah, we're not going to pick it up." And I don't think I got invited back to the suite again. But still, it was a lovely, lovely experience.
No, we're going to get you back in that suite. You're coming back.
Thank you.
We're going to get you in there, and then they'll kick you out, and then we'll talk about that in the next episode. But wrong again, right? Like I feel like that's acting in Hollywood, and you get a show, and it just all looks great, and it looks like it's going to just line you up for 30, 40, 50 years, and it's like, wrong again.
Yeah.
Wrong.
And then you do the dumbest job you could possibly think of, and it's a giant success.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever been a part of anything like that, Bernie.
No.
No, I'm looking for the big dumb show that lasts forever. Yeah, that's
aren't we all
next on my list. Yeah. Do you have people in your life say like, you know what you should do? A Marvel movie.
That's a great idea.
Those do well.
Yeah, I think
genius
one of the favorite things we love to tease my mother-in-law, my wife Jen's mom, who's awesome, is early on in Jen's career. Jen moved from Montreal, where her mom still lives, and she still is having great success. But her mom said something like, "You know what, Jen? You should do a movie with Matt Damon." So whenever things are tough, whenever a show gets canceled,
his movies are good.
Or a job, tanks at the box office. You know what you should do? You should do a movie with Matt Damon.
That's smart. That is very smart.
Really good
Everybody
advice.
Always has that backseat driver advice.
So, Tom, you do a Marvel movie, and we'll do a movie with Matt.
That sounds perfect. Well, maybe we'll just do a Marvel movie with Matt Damon, and Playtone will open those sweet doors to us wide, and we'll just have a good time there.
Bernie, so you just sit there and take a nap. That's my.
Bernie will see it.
That's what I'm doing.
He'll see it, and he'll be like, "It was okay.
I didn't hate it.
It was okay.
It was okay."
So some of the other stuff that we talk about on here, I mean, we're kind of covering it a little bit. We're touching on these guys have a fantasy football team that they manage together, and so that's kind of somewhat the framework of this podcast. But and you said your dad was a rabbi, which I knew. I also know your sister. This is another crazy connection we have.
Is she your kid's pediatrician?
Sherry was my kid's pediatrician, unrelated.
How about that?
To me knowing you. That was so
but I'm related
crazy.
to her, so there you go.
Yeah,
that's
the connection. And then when we did the play, and I snorted all that fake sugar,
she
came to the play. Yet she got worried, and the next time I brought my kid in to see her, she checked my nose.
Wow.
To see if I was okay.
Wow.
She enjoys sticking her fingers in people's cavities. That's just something she's always done.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
So do you. Why didn't you become a doctor?
I was never asked that question. I was asked, well, how come I never became a rabbi? But I know the answer to that. I don't think I ever wanted to become a doctor.
You have
That's a great first question of an interview. Why didn't you ever want to become a doctor?
Do a movie with Matt Damon.
Why don't you do a Marvel movie already?
You have a sister who's a rabbi, so you have a sister who's a rabbi and a sister who's a doctor, and you're you.
No, you're thinking of Sarah Silverman, who's not my sister, but Sarah Silverman has a sister who's a rabbi.
Stop it! You don't have a. Oh, maybe I was thinking your dad was a rabbi. Your sister.
My dad and his dad were rabbis, but
got it.
But that is crazy that Sarah Silverman's sister is a rabbi. Yeah, you're
Sarah
right.
Silverman's sister's rabbi, and Sarah's an atheist, which is so cool.
Oh, jeez.
It's a good combo.
Yeah.
Man, we had some fun on that play. I was trying to think of celebrities would come out every time and see it, right?
Matt Damon never showed.
Matt Damon. But do you remember when Vince Vaughn came to the play and sat in the front row in a big white T-shirt?
That. Yes.
And do you remember he didn't?
Yeah, that's all we saw. No, he was sitting next to Bernie.
Yeah, right.
They were both wearing white T-shirts.
They were like the two old guys on the Muppets, just like
they were both
Waldorf and Statler, yeah.
And then in the second act, they both fell asleep.
It was good.
It was good.
It was okay. Yeah, we met Tom. Didn't we meet Vince in New Orleans? Speaking of New Orleans, one time.
Atlanta,
right?
Atlanta.
That's one of my favorite stories because we met him, and
somebody
introduced Tom.
I was doing a movie there, and he was doing a movie there, and then both movies kind of wanted to be at the same bar at the same time. Like they wanted to have their halfway through the schedule party, and in my first AD, I guess knew him and said, Vince, have you ever met Tom Everett Scott? And Vince Vaughn said, sure, I know Tom Everett Scott. Hi, Tom Everett Scott. Everybody knows Tom Everett Scott.
It was the greatest reaction.
Three
names or 9 names.
We were there with Jason's really good friend from college, Mark Kunzman, who's a phenomenal tennis player and ping pong player.
Yeah.
And this place was called it was like the ping pong table tennis mecca bar.
Yeah.
Had a
ping pong table
on the second floor. And the whole reason why Vince Vaughn's movie wanted to use that bar was because Ben Stiller was in his movie and Ben really wanted to play ping pong. And so we had gotten there a little bit earlier than them. And the rule of the ping pong table was winner stays on, so if you want to take over. So no one could beat our friend Mark.
He's excellent. So they had to come up and ask.
Yeah.
Jonathan, excuse me a second. This is a commercial break, so relax.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I'm sorry.
It was a real digression. It was a real digression, but it's a great.
I feel like we had to tell the story.
I know. I really wanted to hear.
So people so Ben Stiller apparently was in the back of the restaurant sending his best ping pong players out to face our guy, and no one could beat him.
No one could beat him.
And eventually, the producer of the movie came over and said to me, "Hi, Tom. Your friend is just too good at ping pong, and we really need Ben Stiller to be happy.
Ben would like to play.
He'd like to play. So can you ask your friend to leave?" And Mark didn't want to go.
No, he refused, but we got him off eventually. Anyway, that was it.
Do you like ping pong, Jonathan?
Yeah. Speaking of
course I like. Who doesn't like ping pong? I'm a huge. I have a ping pong fantasy league that I'm trying to start, but
now I feel like you are, even though so you don't have a home team football wise.
I don't have a home.
Adopted sadness. The Saints are the adopted team now.
You don't have a home, but I remember going to Barney's Beanery with you and John DiMaggio, maybe once or twice.
His beloved Jets. He
has beloved. Right.
Oh God, I'm sure he's in all kinds of pain.
I know.
Wow.
We should text him. Yeah,
you know what Joe Namath is giving your quarterback shit. You're just in all kinds of trouble.
He faded him, right? He just said, "I've seen enough of Zach Wilson."
It's nothing new to be a Jets fan and be miserable, though, right? It's kind of par for the course.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's the problem. They got happy for four snaps.
That's the problem.
When you get Wow.
Yeah.
I still don't think he would have pulled it off.
You don't think Rodgers would have pulled it off?
I don't think so.
Really?
No.
Thumbs down.
But he's good.
He's really good.
He's okay.
He's okay.
He's on his way out. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was MVP of the league 2 years ago.
Yeah,
what has he done lately, Tom?
Right. Yeah, not even playing this year.
Jonathan, how you doing in your fantasy baseball league right now?
Coming down to the wire.
I'm usually quite proud of my status in this league. Mm-hmm. It's only because I spend way too much time on it, and I without bragging, we usually come in we usually win, plays, or show. This is the first time in the I don't know how many years where I came in fourth. So
okay, that's the dreaded fourth.
And the Bills from our pal who's the manager, and this is like the first time where a large sum of money is owed.
I hate that.
We're not in receipt of it, but still, hell of a team. It was just injuries. It didn't hurt that Mike Trout was out. It didn't hurt that Aaron Jones was out for a couple months, and even our young stud pitchers like Hunter Green. We just had way too many injuries. No excuses. Should have fixed it. Didn't. It happens. But thanks for asking.
Do you have how many teams are in this fantasy baseball league?
12
teams, and do you guys use players from both National League and American League?
We do. It's a very friendly, easy league. It used to be a lot more exhausting. There was an unlimited amount of moves one could make. So basically, every night at midnight, you're trying to get the best moves for the next day, and who's hurt, and who's not pitching, and who's starting, and
who's being called up.
Thankfully, a number of us became new dads in this league, and we're like, we can't fucking do this. We can't stay up till midnight anymore. So there was a limit now of 4 moves a week, period. So once you're done with those 4, you're done. So it almost became like a football league. You make your moves and set it, and then just see what happens.
Good timing on all of you having sex at the same time.
It was the same orgy. It was at the Playboy Mansion just before Hef died, and we all went nuts, and it happened.
And that's how,
so to speak, yeah.
And that's how
a new generation was born.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So who has Acuna? I mean, look at what that guy's doing.
Who has Acuna? He definitely won the steals point total. But this gentleman on our league, he had a ton of more injuries than I did. So I think he is, strangely enough, the guy who had Acuna, I think, ended up in last place.
Wow.
What is that?
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's all strategy. It's all week to week. You can't just rely on your big friend.
He also had DeGrom, and he had he had all the great pitchers who just went down.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a crazy year for baseball. I mean, but super exciting now, and it'll be fun to see who gets in there from the West, the AL West. Right? Isn't that what? No, where National League has a little bit tighter.
Is this airing soon, or by the time this airs,
sure,
the World Series will be over?
Maybe by tonight.
No, within a week.
Okay,
great.
Yeah.
We're current. We're current. Yeah.
The Mariners almost won last night, which would have put them, in the last slot, but they lost towards the end, and it's gonna be great going down to the wire to see what happens. And then you got
that's Toronto's in as long as they don't completely.
As long as they don't shit the bed, yes, they're in. I think it's basically down to the Mariners and the Astros in the American League, and the Reds, Marlins, Cubs are battling for the last spot.
How about that? Awful pop fly that he.
Yes,
wasn't that terrible?
Yeah, that was sad.
The Cubs had a chance to beat the Braves.
The Braves.
And had they won, that would have been it? They would have been in? Or at least
I think that probably would have given him a lovely cushion. Yeah. And he dropped the ball. And it was Steve Bartman-esque.
It really was.
Right.
The poor Cubs.
Yeah. That's true.
But they ain't dead yet. I think they're going to pull through. They'll be just fine.
And speaking of not dead yet, so these guys
Bernie!
have drafted as a.
What happened?
Okay, we're back. I'm sorry, technical difficulties. Sorry. As soon as you mentioned killing Bernie, we were.
Yes. The computer died.
Yeah.
We were talking
struck
about
by
that.
lightning. Yeah.
I don't even know what we were talking about. I've completely lost track of everything.
Stuff? Were we talking about the Jets at this point?
Jets. We could have been talking about the Jets. We could have been talking about any number of things.
I mean, it's been a lovely time though.
It has been
we've
great.
Talked about many lovely things.
I think this is better. This is better than Roday's.
I'm telling you,
by far.
Yeah. We're gonna tell him
good,
that. Yeah.
But Silverman's, watch out. Big numbers.
Any talk show would be happy to have him. Like, it's a pleasure.
What a delight.
Story.
This is like being on Craig Kilborn. Remember Craig?
Callbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Roday couldn't even call back the Jim J. Bullock bit. Like, I
know. We got everything here.
Can you bring back a Jim J. Bullock bit?
Can you come back next week? Can you come back tomorrow night?
I can come back as Jim J. Bullock.
Okay, there we go.
All right, good.
And in the center
pretty
square.
Much a big dream.
We love you. I'm so glad we got to do this, and I would really love to see you in person.
I would love that.
Yeah, Dodgers game.
You guys are still really in Studio City? Have you moved elsewhere? Where are you?
We were in Encino for 13 years. We moved to the West Side. Both kids were in school over here.
This is the West Side Garage, or are you?
This is West Side.
This is West Side.
Yeah, we moved the whole. So Jenny, my wife Jenny, moved her entire family out here to the West Coast, and then we were all in the Valley at one point, and now we're all on the West Side.
Yeah. Wow, awesome. Yeah. We're on the West Side. Where about?
We're all like in the Marina Del Rey, Mar Vista area.
Awesome.
Playa Vista. Yeah, where are you?
We're in Los Feliz, but
beautiful.
Love it there. We have a very tiny little place on the beach on the Marina Peninsula. Where the streets go alphabetically.
Yes,
along the beach. We're there most weekends, so maybe that's where we.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, we'll make that happen. We'll get together. Jonathan Silverman, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yes. Good luck.
Nice meeting you.
Okay, that was a great interview.
He's the
Jonathan.
Best. Isn't he great?
We love him.
So
who knows? Maybe we'll get him back.
Great guest.
And I just want to add, this is something that you will hear on the podcast. We'll flash it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're listening, the Scott Fish Bowl that we talked about in the Liz Loza podcast, we talked about Scott Fish Bowl, and that is an organization called fantasycares.org. If you go to that website, fantasycares.org, money there if you want to donate goes to Toys for Tots, Every Meal Fighting Child Hunger and No Kid Hungry, Feeding America, all kinds of good charities there. Just if you are, somebody who wins your league a lot, and you want to take some of those winnings and you want to put to, just
why else are we? It makes you feel good while you're doing this silly game. So please,
well said.
Please.
There you go.
Yeah.